All right, man. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. What's good, everybody? Hey, how y'all doing, man? Hope everybody's good. All right, man. So today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the 10th anniversary of To Pimp a Butterfly, the greatest hip hop album ever created. So be prepared for that. Also, hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's doing great. You know what I'm saying out there. And yeah, I gotta go to legendary spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing. If you're new here, let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, you know where to find the ones that just don't harass them. I don't sell no merch, but I do have content. Absolutely free. But if you want to leave a donation, link is in the description. Cash App, no more PayPal. They call me the Hidden Gem. 1300 subscribers, over 16,000. And yes, I am the king of the North. Let me know what kingdom you from. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, March 23rd, which would be next Sunday, there will be a battle rap event on this page live, the very first live that I'm doing. Make sure y'all tap in. I'm going to be battling J Dev. It's going to be classic. It's going to be epic. If you like battle rap, tap in, share it all over your social medias. I don't care. It's free. You don't have to pay to come in and watch. All right. So look, we're going to get to it. So yeah, man, let's get to it. All right, man. So, To Pimp a Butterfly, where do I start? I remember when, like how I started. People always start their Jones like that. I remember when back in the day. Like, no. So, this album here to me this is what I mean by groundbreaking. This is the standard for musicians, I would say, at this stage in their career. This album can rival any album ever created. You can put this album in any category to rival any album ever created. From Thriller down to the Led Zeppelin, down to Albany Road, down to whatever you want to think of. To me, this album can rival any Fear of the Black Planet, any hip hop album. This is the best hip hop album of all time to me. Yes, it's better than Illmatic. Yes, it's better than It Was Written. Yes, it's better than Life After Death. Yes, it's better than Doggy Style. Yes, it's better than The Chronic. Yes, it's better than Marshall Mathers LP. Yes. Yeah. Yes, it's better than 36 Chambers. Yes, it's better than Wu-Tang Forever. Yes, it's better than The Purple Tape. Yes, it's better than Iron Man. Supreme Clientele. Yes. Yes. Yes, it's better than Streets is Watching. Yes, it's better than anything you could think of. Anything, any hip hop album you could think of. Machiavelli, yes. It's better than Machiavelli. Yes. It's better than Street Disciple. That wasn't a classic, but yes. It's better than all of those. And for good reason. This album dared to be different. This album pushed the lines of what hip hop and where it could go. Because most hip hop artists wasn't pushing this line. This is the line. I mean, this is where greatness meets phenomenal. And it pushes forward. There's not one hip hop artist or hip hop album that has came out after this album that's actually better. Even Kendrick himself. No album that I heard after this album is better than this album, hip hop album. It's better than this album. This is the pinnacle of what hip hop could be. And I think that if you ask me, he's actually not done yet. I actually think Kendrick Lamar has the ability to make a better album than this, because I think that he's the guy that just doesn't catch lightning in a bottle one time. I think he can actually do it 4 or 5 times. Because some people would say that Good Kid, Mad City was better than this album. A lot of people would say that. I understand why. Because Good Kid, Mad City was a easy listen for people who are hip hop fans. That was the introduction to, if you didn't know Kendrick Lamar and you were into the mainstream hip hop, because obviously Section 80 and Overly Dedicated and a Kendrick Lamar EP came before Good Kid, Mad City, but that was the easy on the ears Kendrick. This here is the social conscious, anything that's related to what we are dealing with as Black people, Kendrick Lamar. This here is something that I think most artists could wish they could reach. Some artists, even with the ability they have, they could never even reach this level. Can you imagine dropping an album? The first album you do that's mainstream is considered a classic. I'm talking like beyond classic. And everybody think that you could never make an album better than that. And you come out with something like this that totally trumps that album. Totally. And to make it even better, it doesn't even sound like the last album. This album does not sound like Good Kid, Mad City, not even in the slightest. Everything sounds different on this album. The instrumentation, down to the lyrics, the rhyme pattern, the rhyme scheme, the writing. It just sounds like something where a new artist came out with something and you didn't know how good they were. So we're going to go through some of the songs. I'm not going to play the whole song. I'm just going to play a piece, a tiny piece, because I don't want this video to get demonetized, because they will. So we're going to start with Wesley's Theory, and then I'm going to give my take on what these songs mean and everything. So this is Wesley's Theory. So basically, with him coming out with Wesley's Theory, saying that every nigga is a star, but it's also a call to Wesley Snipes, I believe, because he, at the time, I think he was going through something, or maybe a couple of years before this album, he was going through some tax things with America, and I believe that the reason why he chose that is because of that. That whole thing that was happening with him, because this was, at this time, this album was around where there was a lot of social injustice, and there was a lot of social unrest, you know what I'm saying, at the time. And then you got For Free. No, actually, no. Actually, Wesley's Theory is another song before that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should never give you niggas money, go back home. Now, here's the thing. When you're listening to Pimp a Butterfly, right? And this might be a pretty long episode, but I don't care. When you're listening to Pimp a Butterfly and you get we should never give niggas money, right? Basically, he's saying that he left Good Kid, Mad City. He made it out, because if you listen to the end of the album, he made it out. He made it to Dre. Dre was his friend got shot, got killed. He made it to Dre. He got out. You know what I'm saying? You listen to Sing For Me, basically, he basically, this friend told him, like, listen, man, just promise that you gonna make it. And you know what I'm saying? If I die before your album drop, like, he made it out. Promise you gonna sing about me. He made it out to this. And Wesley's Theory is every nigga is a star. And then once he gets to out there, he starts to act a fool. He starts to wow. You know, when I got signed, homie, I'ma act a fool. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I'm doing whatever I want. I'm getting me a white girl, and this is all true. Cause this actually all happened. And it's crazy to say that, but according to him or Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, this actually all happened. So he said, and I guess I'm gonna get a blue-eyed devil with a fattest monkey. I'm gonna get a blue-eyed girl with a fat butt. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Like, and then the hook is saying, we should never give you niggas money because y'all don't know how to act. Go back home. Go back home. And he's saying, everybody get high. At first, I don't love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now this one, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's basically what it was all about. And then we get to For Free. So we get to For Free. Now, For Free is basically him talking to someone, calling him basically, and he's telling them like, I'm basically conceited now. This ain't free. Like, this ain't free. You gonna pay for it. Like how I've been paying you and giving you all this, and you telling me you need a baller, you need a boss, dude. Nah, this ain't free for you no more. The stick ain't free. You know what I'm saying? And you got to pay for it. So she end off the song by saying, I'm gonna tell my Uncle Sam. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like, and it all ties back to, all of this ties to the Super Bowl still. Let's be clear here. I want you to understand. Follow me here. He still, with all his albums tie to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying that he knew he was going to do the Super Bowl, but I'm saying everything he has done points to what he written throughout his life, all the songs. So she said, I'm gonna tell my Uncle Sam, you ain't no game. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you gonna pay for this. And then he tells her in so many words, like, I'm King Kunta. And we all know Kunta is from the movie Roots. King Kunta. Kunta got his foot cut off for running away from the slave master. You know what I'm saying? We all know what that is. So basically, he's saying like he got a bone to pick with all the rappers now. You know what I'm saying? And also everybody else, all the women, everybody that didn't support him when he was in Good Kid, Mad City phase or Section 80, whatever. And I'm taking over now. I'm the king. He mad, but I ain't stressing. True friends. One question. Where was you at when I was walking? Now I run the game. The whole world talk. King Kunta. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like, where was you at? Now you're not here. And this was one of the official shots without saying Drake's name that he took. Rapper with a ghostwriter. What happened? Swear I wouldn't tell. Most of y'all sharing bars like, yo, in a two-man cell. Sharing bunks in a two-man cell. We all know he could be talking about somebody else that's helping Drake at the time. Some people said J. Cole, but I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this was about J. Cole. And then, move on from there. Then you have to understand, even though he has the theory of him being King Kunta, right? He still have the mind of being institutionalized. So he still has the mind of being institutionalized. And the reason why that is because, and he's going to explain this later in the album, but the reason why is because all of these things that he was doing, it was more of a reaction to when he got out. But he still had that mind of being institutionalized. You know what I'm saying? And he said, if I was the president, I'll pay my mama rent. For all my homies and them, like, master, take the chains off me. Like, Basically, that's what it is. Like, and then Snoop comes in like and says the hook or whatever. Then you get to him passing off of that institutionalized, and he goes into if these walls can talk. Within now, also too, he's speaking like he's reading a poem throughout the whole thing. So throughout the songs, he's reading a poem, and I'll explain the poem later. About that. We'll get to that part. But anyway, in These Walls Can Talk, he's writing a letter to someone in prison. It's also play off being institutionalized, and he's saying, if these walls can talk, it'll tell you you's too late. Now, some people say that this song, he's dedicating this song to a dude who's in prison and he's sleeping with his girlfriend. But the dude that's in prison was one of the dudes who did something to his family member. That's what people say. Can't confirm that. I don't know for sure if that's the truth or not. But that's what is being said online. You know what I'm saying? So he's talking to this dude. And basically, the first verse is about a woman, her her insides of her vagina. And he's basically saying like he's inside of her, and if her walls can talk, they'll have a good conversation. That's basically what it is, which is a crazy, crazy, crazy thing to write. So let's keep it going. Then he gets to uh, you. Now, here's the thing. This is why I say that all of that was a facade. All the first songs, he was talking and talking shit. Oh yeah, and like when I get out and I'm gonna do this. But he also has to understand what comes with this success comes with stress and a lot of things that will keep him in the space of where he was when he was in the hood. Because now he out, he think he's free, but he's really not free. And he finds himself distracted, and it's very difficult to love himself because he has to ignore all the things that was in the hood. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking basically in this song, he's talking to himself in the mirror. And he's saying to himself, like, um, you left everybody behind. You was doing all this for yourself. And he explains that in the song about how he had FaceTimed somebody and they passed away, and he wasn't there for them because he's on the road all the time and he's doing what he got to do, but he also has a drinking problem. Not saying he has a drinking problem, but he's trying to cope with whatever he's going through drinking. That's basically what it is. He's drunk. So that's why he says, loving you is complicated. Loving you is complicated. Loving you is complicated. Like talking to himself, like I place blame on you still, blame on you still. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's talking about himself because he feels he let his people down because he left and he didn't go back, you know what I mean, when he's supposed to. So then he gets to, we gonna be all right. Now, in that song, there's a interlude. Loving you is complicated. You know what I'm saying? The housekeeper comes and knocks on the door, and then he gets into the drunken talk. You know what I'm saying? Talking to himself and talking to other people in his ways. But once he sobers up and he says, "All my life I has to fight." You know what I'm saying? Like I'm fucked up, but we gonna be all right. Like I'm gonna be all right. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna be all right because we all in this together. So we gonna be all right. And it's basically what we gonna be all right is that which this song to me, it has taken a life on of being the black people's anthem in a way. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to how they feel. I remember during the Black Lives Matter, they was playing this song. We gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? So it took on a life of its own, and it came out at the time where there was a lot of social injustice and things going on that excuse me, that you would say is pretty excuse me, pretty complicated to say the least. Then you get to For Sale. Now, now the thing about For Sale is the whole time the devil has been following him everywhere he went. So you notice in the first song, the devil said something to him. Sign this, and you get anything you want. Now he comes straight up, head on. He meets him head on now. After we gonna be all right. So he basically got over whatever he was getting over or got past it. And here comes the devil trying to buy his soul. It's like, oh, you all right now? All right. Is your soul for sale? I'm ready to purchase. I'll give you all these things, all these nice things. Just give me your soul. I just want to buy your soul. That's it. And, he goes from there. Now, obviously, he doesn't sell his soul because what he does is he goes back to the hood, right? So he goes back to the hood. And when he gets back to the hood, in the hook, they're saying, we've been waiting for you, right? And he explains in the last verse, he met a young boy, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like how Nas did when Nas said he met the young boy on the bench. Well, he met this young kid, and the young kid was telling him, like, we know you famous, but there's nothing you can really do for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like, like, there's nothing you can do for me. And he explains to the kid, like, well, you got to understand, like, there is something you can do. Just work hard and get where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? And when you do leave, just make sure you come back home. Don't leave your people behind. That's basically what he tells the kid. You know what I'm saying? In so many words. And then he gets to hood politics. Now, obviously, yeah. So, he gets back there, and I believe the reason why he didn't answer the phone is because the same when you listen to the hood politics songs, he's basically saying in so many words that he's trying to get away from that lifestyle, but he can take it there if he have to. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying, like, once he came back to the hood, the dude was like, pick up the phone. Like, what you want? Something new now? No socks and skinny jeans. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you out here doing? Like, come on, bro, chill out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your people, you gotta be with your people. Like, and that's when goes into the hood politics and basically saying within hood politics, like, well, I can go that route, but that's not something I'm ready to do again, you know? And he kind of doubles down on this in a way where how much a dollar costs. Because once he doubled down on how much a dollar costs, he basically is saying in this song, I'm really not trying to be connected to my people. Not like I want to, what's the name? But I've been out there so long that with this successful life I have, I'm really not trying to be so back in this like this. So I'm kind of a changed man. I'm not really changed, but I'm kind of a changed man. And now you got, what revealed what happened. Obviously, I heard the album, and he basically, the bum was saying, well, it's kind of like, well, you came from nothing and you got something and somebody helped you get there. So why you ain't helping me? And he's like, in his head, you get to get your own. Cause I didn't have the help like that. Cause if you listen to Good Kid, Mad City, his friend got killed, everything happened. So he basically saying, I got it on my own. I did it on with myself. He being a little bit selfish. And then he realized that this guy was actually God that he was talking to. And he blocked his chances from getting in to the afterlife and to heaven. But the thing is, I think that actually changed him, because when you get to the next song, you know, you get to the next song and he talks about complexion. And he's talking about a woman's complexion, but he's also talking about himself too, being a black man. And it's so many uh different complexions in the black race. You know what I'm saying? You got light skin, dark skin, brown skin, even some like to the point where they look like they white. You know what I'm saying? And he's basically saying like you got, I think he said you got blonde, you got blue eyes. That only lets me know that your mother couldn't run. Basically saying like she was raped by a slave master. You know what I'm saying? Which is deeper than deep. You know, so he gets in that, and I believe that that's the song with Rhapsody is on that. Uh, talking about that. And Complexion is a very, very deep song. I'm not really doing it any justice. That song, I can actually do a whole episode about just that one song. You know what I'm saying? It's so deep. It's too deep for me to really even go into too much. And then you have now now we talking about complexion, but then he goes into the Black of the Berry. Right now, speak on Black of the Berry. Black of the Berry to me is maybe top maybe top 10 greatest rap songs ever pen to paper. I would even go as far as saying maybe top 5. I can put that song against any song that anybody can compete with. I think that the beat, the verses, the feel, the subject matter, everything about that song is a 10. Everything. And with the Black of the Berry, when he's speaking on it, he's basically saying like, we have a lot of issues going on within ourselves. And it's not because of certain things that you would think on its face you would blame white white people, but we have a lot of things that we need to change as well. So if you listen to the last verse, he explains it very good detail. You know what I'm saying? And he's basically saying like gang banging. He said like, why would I weep when Trayvon Martin was in the streets? When gang banging make me kill a nigga blacker than me, I'm a hypocrite. Because he's saying that all of us always talking about victimization and how we are being put down by the white man and this and that. But we also don't pay attention to that we've been killing each other too. And we need to stop that. Not to say that the white man ain't bad or the white man is good, but he's saying we all are hypocrites because we are still doing things that the white man wants us to do. That's exactly what he's saying in that song. That's why he says, I'm the biggest hypocrite of 2015. When I finish this, I'm sure you would agree. So the whole time y'all think he's talking about this, which he was, but once he get to the end and he started talking about black culture, and he's saying like black culture really put us in a situation where we're blaming people for things that we can actually change. So, and then he gets to, you ain't got to lie. You ain't got to lie to kick it. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't think that this song is directly dissing certain people, but I think that he's basically saying like, if you ain't from that, just be who you are. You don't gotta lie about it. You ain't gotta lie to kick him in. Just be who you are. You don't have to lie. Like, what you lying for? Like, you ain't a thug. You ain't gotta lie to kick it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do lie, nobody's gonna respect you. So just be who you are. And then he gets to I. Now, here's the thing about I, right? I and you, right? So you, he's basically talking about you. Looking in the mirror, talking to yourself. Now he has learned everything and he's went through all these trials and tribulations through all these songs. And with all these songs, he's saying now, I love myself. See, you hated yourself, but now I love myself. You know what I'm saying? And then he did a live version of it, basically saying he went back to his hood and he did something for his community, saying, I came back. And people in the community are still acting wild, still doing things that are out of control and stuff like that. Now, that goes back to the Black of the Berry hypocrite part. Remember that. But he's basically saying, like, yeah, we're still doing the same things. And then when he got to that part where he said, not on my time, not on my time, like, we ain't going to be fighting out here. Y'all got to chill. The judge going to make time for you. But we ain't going to do that now. Because he also is talking about how he went to Africa and went within Africa. He came back and he learned some things about us. Now, I think that I don't know if this album came out before Snowfall, but I believe in Snowfall, Leon went to Africa. And when Leon came back, at first he wanted to change things. But then he changed up, obviously. But maybe that's based on true events. I don't know. But I'm just saying that part doesn't necessarily have to go with that. But that's kind of like how it is when you leave and you come back and you're trying to change something, and people, they haven't left that mentality because they've been stuck there and they're there. So their mentality is normalized by everything they see around them. You know what I'm saying? So basically that's what it is. And he's saying you have to love yourself instead of us all fighting each other. It starts with us. You know what I'm saying? And then you get to Mortal Man. And now within Mortal Man, he's basically saying he's not a superhero. You know what I'm saying? He's just a regular mortal man. He has flaws. He has things. And it's everybody that was heroes at the time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that was heroes at the time, they was all out there. Everybody who was out there, they were considered heroes. You have uh you have Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton. He was talking about Michael Jackson. He talked about Nelson Mandela, uh, Mike Tyson, everybody. Anybody that was black heroes, he talked about. And I think that this song is very important. And he's basically saying like he's the ghost of Mandela. Like, and I think the reason why he wrote this song, I believe he went to Africa and then he was speaking on this whole thing. But this song is, to me, is one of the most important songs on the whole album because it ties into how he really feels about things that was going on at the time and how people was looking at him. And I think he felt as though that he wasn't a savior, but he was definitely some sort of a hero, just like all the rest of the people that he mentioned in the song. And he ends it off with a poem. Now, throughout the whole album, there was a poem that he was reciting to someone, but you didn't know who it was. You didn't know who he was talking to. And it just sounded like interloops within interloops. Because he was saying, I remember using flick when I was, uh, I can't remember exactly the exact words, but you know what I'm saying. So throughout the songs, every 3, 4 to 5 songs, he would finish it would read the whole piece and then they'll stop. Then he'll do it. Then he'll come back and read till he gets to the end. Reads the whole thing, and the whole thing plays out, and he's talking to no other than Tupac. That blew my mind. When I tell you, I could not believe what I was hearing. I almost shed a tear. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. Because I said to myself, this here is the greatest hip hop album I ever heard in my life. And how they did it was he used some clips from Tupac from back in the day. And he's talking to Pac. But here's the best part about that conversation. It sounds so organic, and also it was just something that I think that hit me so hard because it sounded like he was right there. He sounded like he was right there. You know what I'm saying? Like it was so crazy. Now, with another thing too that I think most people are sleeping on about this album is the instrumentation. From Thundercat to Soundwave to all of these people on this album. Isley Brothers, Snoop, Rhapsody, features. The production was top tier. I'm talking like to the point where, was it Kasami Washington was on this? He had so many people on this album that was great musicians to the point where it was like, this sound like some type of fusion of old soul fused with hip hop, soul, neo soul. It was everything you can think of in a hip hop album. If you think of hardcore, you think of aggressive, anything you could think of, it has something. Storytelling, anything, lesson, anything. Every song on this album has a point to it. There's not one song on this album that doesn't have a point. Not one. Everything, everything. And it was so well executed. I think a lot of people don't understand how well he executed this album was. So when I first heard it, I instantly said, this is an instant classic. There was no way I can say that this wasn't. And no matter how you try to spin it, you can't get around this album. This is a certified masterpiece. Nothing else you can say about it. Yeah. Thank y'all for being here with me. I know that was pretty long, but I had to break it down. Definitely one of those albums that I think is going to go down as one of the greatest albums ever created. And I also believe that a lot of people, they hate the album because they don't understand the album. And some people don't like when people are too preachy. It's like, oh, he's too preachy on that album. Oh, I can't believe that he would be. But to me, that album had to be made because in his catalog is crazy. His catalog is crazy. His catalog is very interesting to listen to. Everything he did within from Good Kid, Mad City all the way up to G and X, phenomenal. And I think To Pimp a Butterfly definitely stands out as his greatest album that he ever created. For some people, it's not the most enjoyable one to listen to, but if you are into, let's say you are, let's say you are a person that's into activism and stuff like that, this is definitely the album for you. If you are into Black Pride and stuff like that, which is, and I don't mean to say it like stuff like that. I'm just saying like, if you are into that, if you are into, holding up, your people where it's at, Black Power and all that. Yeah, this is one of those albums that I believe that will fall right in your alley. Now, the thing about it is, there's a lot of people who like this album that's not into that. But without that even being said, if you are into music, if you are a musician and you like if you like music like that, this is the album for you. By far, to me, this album sonically is the best album that he ever created. Sonically, uh, how would I say? Sonically and creative wise, to me, this is the best. The creativity on this album is unbelievable. So, but thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all for being here with me today. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put this out right now today because it's actually the 10-year anniversary today. So, all right, man. I'll see y'all. Peace. Bye.